Hey guys, Ted from Nerdarchy here, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with the crew here.
Dave.
I'm Nate.
And we got a viewer request from Art Wood. He thinks that in 5th edition, the Necromancers are just not holding their own. What do you guys think?
For clerics and
for clerics and wizards.
And real quick though, we want to say thank you for making organizing the different races and things into PDFs, which we're going to be putting on Reddit for people to check out. So thank you for that.
Yep,
so I definitely feel like that you still get the flavor of Necromancer in 5th edition. You may not have I'm going to have hordes and hordes of undead,
right?
Like 3rd edition and previous editions, where really wizards were overpowered, and why play anything else, especially at the upper levels,
right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like this does not feel like a Necromancer. And let's remember too, just because you're a Necromancer, you still get access to those other cool spells.
Right? Yeah, you don't have any restricted schools.
Yeah. So like I'm still throwing fireball, I'm still casting lightning bolt. Oh, and look, I'm gonna finger death you and make zombies at will.
So the class powers that they get by taking the school of necromancy, I think are great. You get the ability to get temporary hit points. You get the ability to make any undead that you've summoned stronger and better, which in and of itself is incredible and can be a game changer.
Oh, and you get that at 6th level, so you get that pretty much right after you get animate dead.
Right. Because you get animate dead. If you just go straight 5th level, you're looking at that as or straight wizard. You get that animate dead at 5th level. They're better at 6th. So bang bang, right off the bat. So it really comes down to the mechanics of the spells that I think are limiting, not the actual class features.
Right.
So your first spell that you wind up getting is animate dead, 3rd level, and you get one dude with it. Only lasts 24 hours. Subsequent spells allow you to get up to 4 to reassert control.
Yeah, now the 24 hours, that undead doesn't turn to dust or fall down.
He just stops obeying your commands.
He's just like, you don't own me.
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, wait, I do. And 3 of your buddies.
Yeah.
So you can use that, that to slowly build up your horde. But ultimately, what do we look at? At 20th level, it maxed out that you're only having 4 3rd level spell slots.
Yeah, and then
so
2 6, 2 7th, 1 8th, and 1 9th, and then all your spells are sucked up. Maintaining the horde.
So if you use all 4 of your 3rd level spell slots to constantly keeping your undead up, you're sucking up your power level, because that's 3rd level is where lightning bolt and fireball is
for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, my apologies. It's 3. So the max you're really looking at through animate dead is getting 12, unless you want to start
bumping them up to higher levels,
bumping up in higher spell slots.
And it does increase substantially. You get, just for a 4th level spell slot, you get 2 extra undead you get to reassert control over. So I mean, you can get, if you wanted to have 20 zombies, you could spend a good amount of your spell slots getting those 20 zombies, and they would be ridiculous because of your necromancer bonuses.
Right.
I recently used it as, from the NPC perspective, I had a 7th level goblin necromancer with some dwarf zombies. You don't have to take the zombie out of the book. As a PC necromancer, you'd be like, I'm going to buy armor for my zombies and stick armor on them. Because with their 8 decks, stick them in heavy armor.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a gray area, like, as far as if I was the DM and the player was doing that, I'd be like, you can do that, but they're not proficient in that. And it'd be a disadvantage for everything. As a DM, I'm all for it. Right?
Well, I mean, you can't have them be totally ridiculous as the player characters.
So that's animate dead. You've also got create undead. Now you've bumped up. Now you're using a 6th level spell. What is that? 11th or 13th level. You're getting that.
You're gonna a 6th level spell at 13th.
All right. So you're waiting. Till
wait. I'm at 11th.
That's what I thought. So at 11th level, you get your first create undead, and you're getting more powerful undead because you're getting access to ghouls. And ghouls are going to tear apart zombies, so definitely the way to go. And with this one, you can use higher level spell slots to create or maintain even more powerful things. Even up to the 9th level, getting two mummies. That's a potent increase of, or a potent resource to be using, is to having to suck up your only 9th level spell slot, but having 2 mummies at your command is pretty awesome.
Yeah. if you wanted to just say everything from 3rd up as my Necromancer is going to be undead, you'd have quite the selection.
So if you go, I'm Horde Master, and I just cast these spells once a day to maintain my horde. You could totally
got like 2 mummies. You've got 2 whites, maybe even.
Well, you've got 12 zombies and skeletons from Animate Dead. You've got whatever you've managed to cast with Finger of Death.
Finger of Death doesn't count towards your cap. They're just yours.
You know, so
that's a good point to bring up with that.
Right. So and
it slays one of your enemies while you're at it.
So your 3rd, 4th, and 5th. What does that work out to be? 9 spells all told.
Oh, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you're looking at just the 6 through 9.
Okay,
you're looking at 6 spells right there.
So,
and then you've got your 5th, which could just be bumped up, animate.
Are you taking out the 7th because you don't want to use those up?
Yeah, let's
you don't want to use this.
Yeah,
that's Finger of Death only.
So all right, so
set them aside for the day.
3/3. That's
they're going to be 2 unlucky individuals that you hit.
3/3. That's 12. Skeleton zombies. 3/4 is 18. So now you're up to 30, and then
the 5th, does that just bump it up another 2?
That's another 2. So that'd be 4, 6, 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So now you're up to 54 skeletons and zombies. Again, you're sucking that massive amount of resources.
Yeah, you don't get any fireballs. You don't get any other cool stuff there.
54 skeleton zombies.
Let's call it, for simplicity's sake, let's call them zombies. So 54 zombies, right, times 22. That's how many hit points you just put in front of you. It's over 1,000, right?
And if you're saying, well, to get that 3/3, you only have to be 18th level.
Right.
All those zombies have 18 extra hit points and do +6 damage.
Oh, so yeah, you're closing in on 2,000 hit points in front of you.
Yeah, that do a minimum. What's the zombies like? D6 or D8 +2 or +3. So you're doing like D8 +9 or D8 +8.
So all right, now
lots of damage and a stupid amount of hit points.
I think it's actually a D6, but they don't do a lot of damage.
All right, so then we move on.
Well, you're adding quite you're basically doubling their total damage they can do.
All right, so then we move on to our 6th level spells, and we get Create Undead. And all right, if you're using numbers, you're only getting 2 out of it, or 3.
You're getting 3 out of this.
All right, so 3 out of that, and we only get 2 castings of that. So there's another 6 ghouls added to that. And again, they get the extra hit point buff. They get the extra buff to damage as well.
And what do we turn at? And so 9th level, we're getting 2 mummies?
Yes.
9th level, we get 2 mummies, as well as 8th level, you're getting either 2 gas or 2 whites.
Okay, so let's say we'll say 2 gas,
2 mummies,
3 ghouls,
6 ghouls.
Oh, 6 ghouls, and 54 zombies. And a partridge and a pear tree.
And you still have your 1/7 level spell slot.
And every day it's only 1 spell slot. So every day you're going to use that and go through the forest and make zombie rabbits or something.
Zombie whatever you want out of Finger of Death.
Zombie black bears.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I don't see any problem with the Necromancer. And first of all, let me just say that. Let's touch on this. Necromancers as player characters. I hate it. I think it's retarded. The whole idea of when someone goes, "Oh, I'm going to be a good Necromancer," is the most retardedest thing I ever heard. You're enslaving the souls of the fallen. Is essentially what you're keeping them in. Their afterlife and tormenting them. You cannot be a good Necromancer.
You might not necessarily be malicious, but you're certainly breaking so many taboos that it's really stuck you on the other side of the line.
And now we're talking about you're walking around with well over 60 undead. Where do you go with that? And like, who's going to be like, oh, he's nice. It's Bob the good Necromancer.
Well, all right.
So he's got a couple mummies with him. I got to go to the bathroom. Can I borrow one of them for a minute? I got a TP.
After you've created this, like this is clearly like the Necromancer sitting, in his dark lair, maintaining his control over his undead so that they can, go off and do his bidding. This is not and I'm an adventurer running around with all this stuff. Like, no, I don't see that happening. Like yourself, undead, creating undead is unnatural. It's evil. There's some people could try to argue that, you know, you could be a neutral necromancer, but for the most part, it's generally an evil.
You're tapping into necrotic energy either way you look at it,
Right.
Which is the opposite of, you know, radiant energy.
The energy of angels.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's a line there, and you've crossed it once you start animating dead.
Now, you could have the perspective of you're not an evil person in the sense of the way you think about interacting with people.
You could do the I fight fire with fire.
You're still going to be in some way twisted by
you're morally questionable
Yeah.
at best.
It's like firebombing
So-
towns to get soldiers. It's just not.
Yeah, you know, it's like trying to justify your ISIS, but you're really a nice guy. You know, that's what I would equate it to. Like every argument that someone can bring up to me is just munchkining, and it's just, you know, it's weird. Like even Eberron has like the Karnathi that use the undead, and they kind of have this thing, but it's still. But you know, they're secretly ruled by a vampire anyway, so I think that even shatters the argument there. You know.
All right, so
Reddit, on Nerdarchy, How to Stay Nerdy, we had a post about evil when good just isn't enough kind of thing, and it was about this law, like how to play evil without being caricatures. And one of them was the Necromancer that considers like the skeletal horse an improvement upon horses because there's no mess, there's no, you know, like because it's like almost like that kind of childlike thinking of, well, you know, your taboos don't matter because look at the efficiency.
Yeah.
And like here, there's soldiers that never fall asleep. There's, you know.
Well, I mean, obviously, from the perspective of like the atheist, like you're like, well, you just die and rot. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah. So, but if you're desecrating people's corpses, again, that's the evil of breaking taboos. So
yeah,
and you're working with necromantic energies, which I feel like it twists you in some way.
Even if you are an atheist, at some point you're more than likely going to have to piss on someone else's beliefs, in order to fulfill your own. So you know, there's conflict.
Yeah, they're in conflict. So even if we went from the, you know, let's ignore alignment structures in D&D and let's go with like individual characteristics and characters, you don't have to be like an antagonist to the party and be a necromancer, but most likely the party's going to be antagonistic towards you.
Well, yeah.
Because of you doing all these kind of things.
All right, well, the whole point of this video was not to argue, you know, the good versus evil necromancer. It's to look at, you know.
Well, he asked about necromancers as player characters.
Okay,
and Dave had to put it in.
I don't think you can. Yeah. You have to address how you feel about necromancers as player characters, not just the mechanics of hey, they've been nerfed.
Okay,
they're awesome villains, you know, and you can do cool stories with them. But ultimately, as player characters, I don't feel like they were. But that aside, you know, he also asked about the cleric. And I like the Death Domain cleric. I actually think this works way better than, you know, the necromancer that raises dead. And they really are about manipulating necrotic energy. Again, it's definitely a gray area, but at least you can do it without, you know, pissing on other people's beliefs per se.
Yeah, the necromancer wizards, one of their main powers is directly linked to summoning undead. Right?
Yes. Yeah,
so,
yeah, there's no right way around it. At least with those guys, like, you know, they can channel divinity to, you know, to do damage with necrotic energy. Eventually their weapons do necrotic damage.
Yeah.
They really are just about manipulating necrotic
Yeah,
energies.
there's more personal power rather than like creating a horde mentality.
I love their cantrip, and you know, they get it, necromancy cantrip. We don't have much of a selection right now, but it's still cool that they get one, and it's more powerful when they use it because it affects more than one creature.
Correct.
I believe they get some at 6th level. There's something cool. Divine Strike, inescapable destruction. Oh, they ignore resistance to necrotic energy. So they're like, oh, you're undead and you don't think this is a big deal? Boom!
Yeah.
I will disrupt the very thing you're made of. And
so you can completely do the Death Domain Hunter of Dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
and improved Reaper at 17th level, spells from 1st through 5th targets only one creature. They can instead target 2 creatures within 5 foot of each other. So and it uses up, you know, all the normal components. But you know, that's pretty powerful. You know, casting a spell and getting 2 uses out of one for one is a kind of, I mean, it's 17th level, but it's still a big deal.
Right.
So, you know, I really see the Death Cleric as being the you know, the more of the harvester of souls and the reaping of dark energies than the raising of dead.
We did a whole video on, you know, the Death Domain Cleric, and like the DMG, like the Death Domain Cleric, it's listed as, hey, this is supposed to be something that's an option for the DMs to use for their villains. But I mean, there were a couple different arguments to be made about, well, how you can use that as a good character. You know, so it's not necessarily just oh, I'm an evil person running around with this power.
You manipulate necrotic energy,
right.
And that's going to be your thing. And you know, again, like, because you're a cleric, I find it's a lot easier to justify because you're a divine conduit to a deity. You know, and there are many deities that have access to the death domain that aren't necessarily evil. Because you know, they're the death gods. Death doesn't necessarily mean
the
evil.
cycle of life and death. You know that.
Yeah. So that, you know, that kind of works, but we haven't discussed the Zombie Lord yet.
Okay, what's the Zombie Lord?
The Zombie Lord is the sorcerer with Finger of Death and Twin Spell.
Yes.
and the fact that he's a sorcerer. I don't think can they use sorcery points to cast higher level spells, like the 6th through 9th? I think they can. So technically they could even get more castings. Like they might not be able to. They might be able to twin it once and then cast it, you know, one more time. But
well, the sorcerer also gets different. That's a good point.
They don't. It's the only spell they get that allows them to bring back to animate dead.
Okay, and
you can create spell slots no higher in level than 5th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, but they do get the twin spell, so they can, you know, essentially double up.
Yeah, so they could get 4 zombies a day.
No, I don't know if Finger of Death can be raised in level. I don't think it can. But you can still use a higher level slot to cast it, right? Technically.
Oh, yeah, you could
yeah.
use. Yeah. Oh, I was like, but you don't get any benefit. Oh, yeah, the benefit is you get to cast the spell again.
Yeah,
so, you can always use an 8th level
make
spell.
4 zombies a day.
Right. So you cap out at 20 sorcery points.
You'd use 14.
You could
blasting
use
out the 7th twice.
Well, let's see here. 7th, we get. All right. So once we get to 15th level, you have the ability to use your 7th and 8th level spell slot and all but one of your sorcery points to twin it, and you can get 4 a day.
And if you really obsessed with it,
you could twin 2 spells because it only costs 7. Well, 7 for the
remember you can sack lower level
4
spells to get more sorcery points.
Yeah. So once you
so if you want to like cash it all in and just be like, I'm gonna make zombies today.
So once you get to 17th level, where you get your 9th level spell,
you can make 6.
You can make 6. But you have to wind up sacrificing earlier or lower level spells to get the sorcery points.
But you know, that's 6 a day. You don't have to. It would take you a long time.
But
people just disappear in the city at night, and you've got them like in the sewers, stacked like the clay soldiers in China. Like,
grab a Snickers bar. You're not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's totally the way to do it,
dude. But in a year, man, you've got like 2,000 zombies.
And they're all yours forever.
Yeah, you know, no recasting, no nothing. They just love you.
Now the wizard does not have the flexibility of the sorcerer by expending points, nor does he have the access to the twin spell. But he can kind of do the same thing
with arcane.
Just doing it slower. You know, he technically can, once you hit 14th level and you have access to your 7th level spell, you can do a short rest, cast it again.
But aren't they restricted? Are they restricted in the level of spells that they can get back again?
I thought it's just half your level.
Because you know, 5th edition really does, and they really do cover their bases with things.
I don't know. I think this one does let you get higher level spells. I just don't know.
It just might only be one or whatever.
He will get rid of our speculation soon.
Yeah, but you know, I know with sorcery,
Arcane recovery.
if you use spell points, they don't allow you to use. You're capped on those higher level spells.
But what you can do is you can twin spell. You can you can gain sorcerer points and
no,
twin
I'm not
spell
talking about
even higher
sorcerer,
level
spell points. The optional rule for spell casting.
Oh, spell points. Yeah, you can only cast 1/9 through 6th level. Yeah.
And it does arcane recovery. None of the spell slots can be 6th level or higher. So renege that whole thing about
they saw you coming.
Yeah, they've seen me coming so many times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 5th is just at this point when we think of something really great that's kind of like breaking the rules. We should just assume there's something that stopped that, unless you're a great weapon fighter and they really did just mess up.
That's another video.
And we should ask Mike.
We should ask Mike. What are you talking about? Oh, Mike Merles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he answered our last
Mike down the
question.
street. Yeah, he answered your last question really fast. Maybe he'll be like clarifying the great weapon fighter.
Yeah. Well,
because
actually,
I'm actually kind of tired of being the non-great weapon fighter and watching all the damage fly everywhere and be like, wow, I'm a wizard power level.
He actually kicked it to one of his underlings. Perhaps someone he used finger on death previously. But
answer my tweets.
Yeah, but it did get answered because he was at a convention or whatever, which was kind of cool. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I like Necromancy as is in this edition. I think they did a good job. I mean, I think we pretty much spelled out. If you want hordes of undead, you can have it at a cost.
And I have to say, it's way better than just for one day of spellcasting. You can have 50 zombies and a whole bunch of other ridiculous stuff and be ready to rock. So
54 zombies, 6 ghouls,
2,000 points of
zombies
zombies swinging for a minimum of 7 damage, and you then have it's better than a couple fireballs as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed. We didn't look at the warlock option, or if there's even a warlock option. We always miss something in these videos.
I feel like the warlock, maybe if you do pack a tome.
They don't get anything above 5th level.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
they're not getting create undead.
So animate that undead is like the best they could do.
Yeah.
Although like if you had warlock levels in there enough to where you get your maximum spells, they're always cast at the maximum level.
Mm-hmm. Come back here for a short rest.
So that would be 5th level animate dead all the time, pretty much, like boom boom.
Animate dead is only a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, but when you cast it as a 5th, right?
So I'm just saying if they don't actually have access to animate dead.
Well, I was talking about with,
for the warlock, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just like musing to myself because I know one of you guys you're gonna be like, you didn't talk about the warlock if they get animate dead, and I'm not sure. Okay. But
don't they get a power that lets them get access to spells?
No.
That needs to be a thing.
I don't know if they get it as an invocation. I do not think so. But really, you only need 5 levels of another class.
That's true. To get access
to animate dead. So, then the question is,
it's a spell, so it doesn't.
Where does that put you as a 15th level warlock, as far as your power level?
5th level spells, 3 slots a day, 7 invocations.
So
that's 3 slots per short rest, though.
There's a slots per short rest.
It's a big difference.
And you're still getting slots from that class. So that's,
and they don't separate. Warlock does not separate. These are my warlock power spells.
No.
So once you get animate dead as that necromancer wizard, you might as well bump it up to 6th level wizard, so you get the bonus animate dead stuff. It's not that good though.
Well, it depends on what happens between 15th and 14th level.
14th. Yeah.
That
the only thing that changes is your spells known and invocations go down by 1. So you're still 3 spell slots at 5th level.
Okay.
And that's all you really need.
So so then at that point in time you can go up to 9th level wizard. Because you only need to be 11th level for that.
So per short rest, you're getting retaining power over 24 undead per short rest.
Yes.
Because you're casting it as 5th level spell.
Yeah.
So for this, the sheer number, if you want quantity over quality, then you can do the Warlock Necromancer.
So if we do that, then that's only 11th level to get to that. 9th level caster and wizard. Where does that get you to?
9th level wizard?
Yeah,
you got 5th level spells. You don't get create undead, but
you stop at 5th. So you still don't get
finger of death, but there's a lot of other benefits.
But you can churn out a lot of zombies.
those zombies are getting +4 to damage and to hit, I think, and
So
a whole bunch of other
you get
goodies.
1/5, 3/3, and 4th. So that's another. It's just massive. I'm not even gonna.
I'm not doing the math.
I'm done with the math.
But I only bring it up because I feel like now we've given people some definite things to work with as far as these are the routes you can go for if you want some insane necromancy. And who's to say like there's going to be an undead pack somewhere? I know it.
What's to say we shouldn't make one?
Well, pack of the Lich,
Yeah, or
pack of the Demi-Lich.
Back to the grave.
No, dude, F all that. Vecna.
Okay.
Yeah, make a pack with Vecna.
Yeah, but call it pack to the grave.
Well, you can call it pack of the grave, but it would be you would be that, and it would be like an entity like Vecna or Azeroth. Is it Azeroth? What is
that? Sounds like a Warhammer thing.
No,
Asmodeus?
No, the Lich that made the Tomb of Horrors. There's there's an A in there and there's a Z in there, and you guys, know what it is. You'll tell me. You always do. And but so there's definitely probably some other things that you could throw in there.
That's true. Yeah.
So, with that, I think we've pretty much fleshed this one out. I feel like I like Necromancy in 5th edition. They got rid of some of the stuff that was kind of ridiculous. They scaled it back like all magic, so it's worth being other classes now.
I don't know, 50 Uber zombies.
You think that's too much?
I think that's really good.
No,
I'm seeing.
Yeah, but the other was the Invoker that didn't give up off his spells, just meteor swarmed your
chain lightning, meteor swarm.
He just took them all out with like one spell.
Wished them out of existence or something else crazy. Yeah.
So I don't think it's a problem at all. I mean, we're talking about really high level casters.
Right.
So with that, you guys let us know what you think in the comments below. While you're at it, hit like, share, and even subscribe. You can patronize us or in a good way by going over to Patreon, support our channel. You can also join the conversation over on Reddit. So until next time, stay nerdy. Hey guys, Ted from Nerdarchy here, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with the crew here. Dave. I'm Nate. And we got a viewer request from Art Wood. He thinks that in 5th edition, the Necromancers are just not holding their own. I don't feel like this does not feel like a Necromancer. And let's remember, too, just because you're a Necromancer, you still get access to the other cool spells. Right? Yeah, you don't have any restricted schools. Yeah. So, I'm still throwing Fireball. I'm still casting Lightning Bolt. Oh, and look, I'm going to Finger of Death you and make zombies at will. So, the class powers that they get by taking the School of Necromancy, I think are great. You get the ability to get temporary hit points. You get the ability to make any undead that you've summoned stronger and better, which in and of itself is incredible and can be reassert control. Yeah, now the 24 hours that undead doesn't turn to dust or fall down. He just stops obeying your commands. He's just like, you don't own me. Yeah. And then you say, hey, wait, I do. And 3 of your buddies. Yeah. So you can use that, that to slowly build up your horde. But ultimately, what do we look at, at 20th level, it max out that you're only having 4 3rd level spell slots. Yeah, and then 2 what is it, 2 6, 2 7th, 1 8th, 1 9th, and then all your spells are sucked up, maintaining the horde. So if you use all 4 of your, a game changer. Oh, and you get that at 6th level. So you get that pretty much right after you get Animate Dead. Right. Yeah, because you get Animate Dead. If you just go, straight 5th level, you're looking at that as or straight wizard, you get that Animate Dead at 5th level. They're better at 6th. Mm-hmm. So bang, bang, right off the bat. So it really comes down to the mechanics of the spells that I think are limiting, not the actual class features. Right. So your first spell that you wind up getting is Animate Dead, 3rd level, and you get 1 dude with it,
only last 24 hours. Subsequent spells allow you to get up to 4. So, what do you guys think?
For clerics and
for clerics and wizards.
And real quick though, we want to say thank you for making organizing the different races and things into PDFs, which we're going to be putting on Reddit for people to check out. So thank you for that.
Yep,
so I definitely feel like that you still get the flavor of Necromancer in 5th edition. You may not have I'm going to have hordes and hordes of undead,
right?
Like 3rd edition and previous editions, where really wizards were overpowered, and why play anything else, especially at the upper levels,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But